I believe it was last Thursday that there were 11 or 12 million people quarantined in China. That is the size of Manhattan. 11 million people. Today, that number in China is reported at 50 million people have been quarantined. 50 million people. I don't even know how you shut that down. How do you do that? How do you shut 50 million people in? Now, one of the good news is that people who are not sick are staying indoors because they're afraid that if they go out and mingle with anybody, they'll get sick as well. And so it is shutting pretty much everything down. And imagine if we had 50 million people here sick. Imagine we had 10 million people here sick. And it was really, really contagious. And it could spread, and you didn't know who it could kill. Anybody with a weak immune system could die. Would you leave your house?
I mean, there becomes a level where you're not leaving your house, because one of the things that's unique about this particular thing is they're saying it's being spread before anyone's showing symptoms.
Right.
So you don't even know. You may feel completely fine, not get it for 4 days, but in that 4 days, you're meeting all of these people and you're passing it to all of them before you even know you have it. And that's why it's spreading so fast. And I mean, I don't think could, you know this, Glenn, could you even do this? What China's doing? You couldn't.
No, here in the United States?
You couldn't. It just would not occur. You can't cordon off New York City.
You could. It would have to be a state of emergency.
A ridiculous one.
It would have to be a national state of emergency.
American people, I don't even know if they would be able to deal with that.
We shouldn't. We should just be told, stay at home. Just stay at home.
That's kind of what happened, if you remember the Boston bombing when that was going on.
Right, and people
generally did respect that. They just didn't even go out on the streets in an entire giant city.
Imagine what this, right now, price of gold is skyrocketing. We have, I'm trying to look for any indication on the Dow, but the Dow was down about 500 points on the opening bell, and that's because of the coronavirus.
About 400 now, yeah.
I mean, think about what is happening. The economy would be devastated. It's being devastated now in China. You can't leave. Nobody's delivering anything to your house. Geez, do you even have, the food? So here's what this woman said. She apparently is a nurse in Wuhan where this started. She said, I'm in the area where the coronavirus started, and I'm here to tell you the truth. At this moment, the Wuhan area and throughout China, 90,000 people have been infected with the coronavirus. Now, we don't know who she is. We don't know her name, but she issued a warning in a social media video saying that she was working in I guess it's the Hubei province, which includes the Wuhan area. She said, do not go outside to avoid being infected with the virus. She then said, please send more equipment to the cities. President Xi has come out and said the country is facing a grave situation where the coronavirus is accelerating its spread. She said, I would like to say that everyone who is currently watching this video, do not go outside, do not party, do not go eat out. Once a year, we celebrate Chinese New Year. If you are safe now, you'll be able to meet your family again, healthy, next year. We don't care what the government says. I will tell you the truth. Please donate masks, glasses, and clothes to Wuhan. Please help us. Our current resources are not nearly enough. Horrifying clips have also been posted online. Shocked citizens are seeing them and then they're deleted shortly after. The sick in China are sitting between drips and oxygen tanks next to 3 dead bodies covered with white sheets. All of these things are being deleted, but there is public dissent at the Hubei in the Hubei province. The communists have called for an immediate change of leadership in Wuhan. The People's Daily State-owned paper posted a video from apparently a cured patient flashing the peace sign along with 4 medics. How many do we have today in the United States? How many cases do we have today?
5.
5 known, right?
Yes, known.
We are apparently, let's see, we're high alert. Crisis is 63 people in 22 states are suspected to have contracted the coronavirus. So we have 5 confirmed, but we have 63 today. We had none on Thursday. This spreads 3 times as fast and as easy as the flu does.
That's one of the big things a lot of the epidemiologists are worried about, and that it does seem to be incredibly contagious and spreading at ridiculous rates. Now, those are initial estimates.
Those always change.
On both sides, right? Like, is this Chinese whistleblower correct, and that there's 90,000 cases instead of what they're actually admitting? Or
I was surprised that China would come out and be as open as they are. And I thought, well, maybe they know, we need help and the world needs to know.
And the SARS thing went bad largely because they did not handle it well at the beginning.
Right.
So there's an argument to say, okay, we recognize what we did last time and we got to fix that. That doesn't sound very China.
It doesn't.
It doesn't sound so China to me.
When they're putting, some lead chips into our dog food, it doesn't sound like they really care that much. But maybe they found a heart.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like the Grinch story.
Right. Right.
The chart was 2 sizes too small.
I don't see President Z down in Whoville.
No.
Even
with his cute little dog.
No.
The big sled with all the presents.
Don't see it.
You don't think any of that's going to happen?
No.
It doesn't feel like it would happen.
It doesn't. But you're kind of holding out hope.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me use a Christmas word. May I dash that hope just a bit?
Sure.
Okay. A group of protesters lit a lobby of a newly built residential building on fire Sunday in Hong Kong. Authorities have announced, oh my gosh, I got a cough. Did you hear that cough? Do you think it's a coronavirus?
Yes.
I was sick with a coronavirus for a very, very long time.
Were you?
Yeah. I'd have to call in sick. I'd have too much corona, and then it's different?
It's a different virus, yes. That's a hangover is what you're talking about.
Then I don't have an immune system to it. Authorities had announced earlier in the day they plan to convert the Feiming Estate, an unoccupied public building, to temporary flats to quarantine people who have contracted the virus. Okay. All right, I just want to say, if you have 1,900 cases in all of China, think of this. 1,900 cases in all of China. Why would they be taking this entirely new, brand new apartment high-rise and say, hey, we're going to dedicate this to all the people we need to quarantine in Hong Kong? That doesn't seem to fit. Death toll of the outbreak hit 80 with 3,000 people infected worldwide. So you're going to put everybody that has it there or suspected to have it into that? We are dissatisfied with the government selecting this housing estate as a quarantine separation village, as it is close to a residential area and a primary school. Well, where else would you put that? After the violent protest, the government said it would cease the related preparation work in the Feiming estate. So now they'll just put it someplace where nobody knows, which is always good. Some have called for Hong Kong officials to block its border with mainland China to further minimize the risk of infection. Reuters noted so far, authorities have only shuttered direct train and flight connections to and from Wuhan. So don't worry. We have it in Chicago and in Seattle and in Houston. But don't worry. If you're in the Wuhan airport, you can't fly. But if you're somewhere around Wuhan, you get to another.
I know I have a condo there.
Do
It
you?
was just outside Wuhan.
You know, I worked with the Department of Tourism for Wuhan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I had the Kodak rights. I had all the film rights. I negotiated them years ago, and I really thought when Wuhan really hits, I'll be the only place you could buy film. And
digital stuff happened, huh?
Yeah.
Very disappointing.
I
Plus,
would have been. I mean, imagine taking all the pictures of the hospitals and what was really going on. How much money I could have made on this crisis?
probably a lot.
Probably a lot.
Unfortunately, now there seem to be cameras in every room, on every corner.
Yeah, it's not like I never thought of that.
Yeah.
It's not like this would be hard to count the people that had it because you're not looking for them.
No.
You know right where they are.
Oh yeah, all the time.
Yeah. And you also know if they're Googling temperature,
Right.
fever, sniffles. The black van comes to pick you up to take you to the new Phai Ming apartment complex.
They actually did that, by the way. Google did this a while ago, where they started running predictors of where the flu would
still
break
do that.
out based on what people were Googling, right?
Right.
They're Googling temperature, nausea, whatever it is. You're telling me you don't think the Chinese government is doing that? I mean,
The Chinese government. We do it, apparently. We do it because that way the CDC can be ready and we can get the flu treatment in the right areas, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm sure the Chinese are the same.
Oh, yeah.
They just treat it probably with gas.
Yeah, the different.
This is not really a
medications.
drip system. It's a little too slow. We like to just inject it into. We just like to, a bullet is the fastest way to get this medicine right to your heart.